All right, good afternoon, parents. Good afternoon and good evening. Good evening. I know people are still coming into the chat. They're still within the chat. They're coming within the Zoom, sorry. Within the chat, you will see a sign-in sheet. We're asking that all legacy builders go ahead and sign in to the meeting because this meeting is a required meeting for all seniors. So go ahead and sign in. If your parents are not with you virtually, go ahead and still sign in as well. I know I'm seeing a lot of questions within the chat about that, but go ahead and sign in. And we're going to get started here in about, I'll give you guys an additional 3 minutes to get in. And we'll go ahead and get started with the meeting as follows. All right. So give it another 2 to 3 minutes and we'll go ahead and get started. I see the legacy builders are still coming in. So we're just going to give them additional 2 to 3 minutes. All right, guys, so go ahead. Good evening. I gave everyone a grace period. So I went ahead and modified the restrictions on the sign-in sheet. So everyone should be able to sign in at this time. I will put the link again in the chat. Again, I've made the modifications for the restriction on there, and my apologies for that. But good evening, legacy parents of our Legacy Builders 2022, and welcome to our first Parent Town Hall of the year. Again, I'm asking everyone to please sign in. All right, guys, and this is our agenda for the evening. We're going to start off with a welcome from our senior class president, Mr. Thomas Benair, and then I will come back with staff introductions, and then we'll bring forth our great head counselor, Dr. Prater, and he'll talk about the road to graduation. And then we'll have Ms. Kami Floyd, the graduation coach, to come talk about credit recovery and evening school. And then I, of course, will come back and talk about attendance, grades, and behavior. And then we also have Ms. Joy Foreman. She is a part of the senior college access committee, and she will come forth and speak to you guys about that as well. And then we'll have Ms. Brewer to come and talk about senior pictures. And I'll come back and talk about senior fees. And then, of course, we'll have senior traditional events with Ms. Nguyen, one of our advisors and historian here at Washington. And then we'll close out with questions and answers. So, guys, let's go ahead and start the evening with our class president of the Legacy Builders 2022, Mr. Thomas Benair. Thomas, you're more than welcome to come off mute at this time.
Hello guys, my name is Thomas Fennell. As you guys heard, I'm the 12th grade president at D. Booker T. Washington High School. A couple of norms is to be respectful. Make sure your mic is muted at all times. And if you have any questions or comments, concerns, please say in the chat. Thank you.
Awesome, and thank you, Thomas, for that great introduction and welcome. All right. Next, I'm going to go ahead and introduce our senior staff here at Washington. We're going to start off with our great principal, Dr. Angela Kosum Young, and she also resides as the senior administrator. All right. And if you're here, faculty and staff, if you're here, just turn your camera on, wave to the parents if you're here. All right, and then we also have Dr. Donald Frater. Dr. Donald Frater, he is our great head counselor and also the senior counselor here at D. Booker T. And then you have myself. My name is Mr. Dario Jackson. I reside as the senior lead teacher as well as the class sponsor. All right, and then we have one of the great, Ms. Kami Floyd. She is our graduation coach and our credit recovery administrator. And then next we have Ms. Joy Foreman, Miss Joy is new to the Booker T family. She resides as our college access advisor and Achieve Atlanta. And then we also have Mr. Jay Pearson. He's our behavior support specialist here at Washington. And then we also have Miss Denise Osselbrook. She is our special ed lead teacher. Miss Osselbrook, I believe she's not on the call. And then we have Miss A. Johnson. Miss A. Johnson, she is our SPED department chair. Right. And then we have Miss S. Moore. She is our Saturday school coordinator, as well as one of our great instructional coaches here at Washington. And then we have the great Miss Marcy Wynn. Miss Wynn resides as our school historian and a senior advisor. We have Miss McPhail, who also resides as an advisor. And we also have Miss S. Brewer, who is a Washington alum, and she also resides as the yearbook coordinator. Right. And then we also have our senior core teaching staff with us today. We have Mr. Robert Gardner, who teaches English. We also have Miss Marcy Wynn, who also teaches English as well. You have myself, I teach math. And then you have Mr. Jeffrey Bonner, I believe he's on the call. He teaches math as well. And then you have Mr. Rodney Willingham, who teaches math. You have Miss J. Robinson, who teaches science. You have Miss C. Henry, who teaches science as well. And then you also have Mr. Howard, who teaches social studies, and Miss C. Thomas, who also teaches social studies as well. All right, and that's the whole entire senior staff here at the Booker T. All right, so we're going to continue the agenda as follows, and we're going to start with Dr. Donald Prater, who will give us the road to graduation.
Good evening to everyone. I hope everybody is having a very good day today. So I have the awesome task and honor to help your wonderful scholar become a graduate of the Booker T. Washington High School. And one of the things that we have to do is to ensure that our students are graduating is that they are actually meeting the graduation requirement. So the road to graduation for the class of 2022 began in 2018. In 2018, we had over 287 ninth graders. As of today, the class size is 207. So out of that 207, we have to achieve a 83% graduation rate. This graduation rate is also comes from the district that challenged us to get this particular graduation rate. How do the students achieve this 83% graduation rate? Well, the graduation requirements are stated by the Board of Education are 24 credits. Based on the slides, the coloration of the slides have actually changed. It was white earlier today. So if you looked at the screen, for English, the students have to have 4 units of English, and that includes the 9th grade English, 10th grade Lit, American Lit, and Multicultural Lit. For math, they need Algebra 1, Geometry, Algebra 2, and AMDM. For science, biology, physics or physical science, environmental science or chemistry, or epidemiology. Social studies, they need 3 units, American government, world history, U.S. history, and economics. For foreign language, they need 2 units, Spanish 1, 2, or French 1 and 2. For PE, they need 1.5 unit, that is personal fitness, health, and PE elective. And they need 1 unit of CTAE, fine arts, or ROTC, and 4 units of electives. And they also need a 0.5 of community service. So some students' schedule may vary based on the track that they're on. So students who may be in early college may have actually different courses that may help them get across the stage. For example, an early college student may not necessarily take American Lit. They may take AP Lang. They may take AP Literature for their 4th English. So sometimes it varies within those particular categories. But for the most part, the general ed student must meet those 24 requirements that I've actually just stated before you. In order to do that, students should have already passed their 9th, 10th, and 11th grade courses. They should only be taking at this point their 12th grade classes. That would be multi-lit, AMDM, epidemiology, economics. They could be finished up their foreign language, and as well as their personal fitness. So if a student has failed any of these courses, then those students will have to go to what we call RISE. At this point, the students need credit recovery. So when credit recovery kicks in, a student is now considered off track because they have not passed those significant courses that has been outlined by the district for the student to actually earn the high school diploma. How do students also get to graduation? They have to have good attendance. Right now, our seniors are leading with good attendance, but however, we do expect our attendance to at least be in the 90 percentile. Right now, we're in the 80 percentile, so we got to get the students to school. We want our seniors to be leaders in the building. We want them to get involved in every activity that is actually possible to help them become better, well-rounded, and prepare them for their post-secondary option. Whether it's college, the workforce, or the military, we want to build those skills so they can be very successful for whatever opportunities that awaits them. In order for seniors to understand where they are right now, beginning next week, I will have senior conferences. They will roll between September 20th all the way through October 1st, where I will begin to meet with students, particularly those who are currently off track. Those students who are off track, I will meet with them first so they know exactly what they need to do so that we can begin the roadmap to help them recover and try to make the May graduation. We do have a few college field trips coming up that is designed by the district. One of the field trips that will be coming up will be this Friday, the North Atlanta College Fair. And we also have the Pro College Fair that's coming up on October 1st. So we do have those two particular field trips set up for our seniors. One of the biggest questions that seniors often ask, how do I get my transcript to a particular college of the choice? What the student will have to do, they have to request the transcript. They can email me. My email address is here. They just email me, giving me permission to release their transcript to a particular college. For example, if a student decides that they would like to apply to Albany State University, they will send me an email to say, if you would please send my transcript to Albany State University, and they also give me the email address, and I will submit that to them as soon as possible. Next slide, please. Part of the road to graduation, as we was talking about, is the college application and the Common App. The college application, most colleges have already started, have opened their doors now for students to begin to apply. So students should be applying as we begin to speak, as I'm speaking right now. We like to encourage our seniors to apply to 5 or more colleges. That is one thing that we definitely want them to do. The Common App. The Common App is not for every particular student. The Common App is usually for students who are applying to tier schools or a school that actually requires the Common App. So students with GPA of 3.2 or higher, the Common App may be an area for them to actually use to actually apply versus just applying to just any particular school. For a school like, we'll say Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech is actually going to require them to use the Common App. If they're applying to Georgia State is going to require them to use the Common App. But if they're applying to a school, we'll say Kennesaw State University, they can apply directly to Kennesaw State. We do have our college advisor, Ms. Joy, who will speak to that. But we are encouraging our students to apply to 5 or more colleges. Now, as we start talking about the big money, the scholarship money, for the class of 2022, the scholarship goal is $11 million. Why is that so high? The class of 2021 actually earned 10 plus million dollars. So we challenge each class to always outdo the next class. So we have a challenge for them to actually achieve $11 million. So in order to do that, most scholarship requires students to have essay and recommendation. Parents, the reality is when it comes to the essay, that's where most students start shutting down because they don't want to do the work to the essays to get the scholarship money. We are encouraging you as the parents to we're asking you to support us in getting your son or daughter to actually do these essays so that we can actually have them applying to the school. And when they write an essay, we always ask that the student allow us to edit the essay before they submit the essay. Because if they submit the essay and it has not been edited or they have not answered the question, most likely they will not get that money. But we want to put them in the position that they are going to earn those particular scholarships that's out there. Recommendation, we ask them now to get those recommendations lined up, to actually get with teachers, community leaders who can write a very strong recommendation about their character, about their academics, about their leadership. We need them to have those people lined up so they have those recommendations ready to submit along with those essays for those particular scholarships. And not to mention, some colleges also require recommendation in essays to apply to get into their particular schools. But we have the resources to help the student. What we need from parents is that parents are following, making sure the student is following through to get everything done. This year, we're going to do something slightly different. We're going to have a college bowl on Saturday, October the 2nd from 1 to 4 o'clock. This college bowl is going to give the students an opportunity to actually have someone to check their essays. We have someone to help them with their college applications. We're going to have people set up that's going to help them with the FAFSA. We're going to have this particular workshop that's going to help the students to navigate through those processes. And with that being said, we will only have 50 slots available. So when the information go out, we're asking them to sign up, and we're asking for you as the parents to get them there so that we can have these volunteers to actually help them and assist them with those particular college application essays as well as the FAFSA. So this year, last year, because of the pandemic, most of the colleges actually waived the college SAT and ACT test. Well, unfortunately, they're going back to not waiving the test. So we're asking our students now to begin to think about retesting. So we do have the SAT and ACT waivers available, so we can begin to help our class of 22 to start retesting. Not only just retest, but help them find some prep to help them get over the hump to start trying to score in the thousands. This year, we had the SAT school day for when they were 11th grader back in March. The district is going to sponsor another SAT school day right at Washington High School on October 28th. So on October 28th, your scholar get an opportunity to actually retest for the SAT without any charge. They don't have to go anywhere. They will actually take care of everything for them right at Washington. So that is something that we are very thankful for the sponsors who are actually sponsoring this for all the APS schools, and we are very excited that we're going to be a part of that particular testing day. Next slide, please. Finally, for the road of graduation, the valedictorian, salutatorian, and the star student. These are our top 3 students that are recognized by the district. How do you become the valedictorian? Based on Atlanta Public School policy, the valedictorian must have the highest GPA, and they should have entered Washington High School by the beginning of their junior year. Same thing for the salutatorian. The salutatorian is the person with the second highest GPA. And that's how those 2 individuals are determined based on the highest GPA. So now, when the semester ends in December, and then we come back in school in January, we're starting semester 2. Once all grades are posted, that includes dual enrollment grades. Once all grades are posted to every student's transcript, then the district will send out an email asking the counselor to submit the students with the highest 2 GPA. Once I submit the names, then the district verify that I have submitted the correct name for the valedictorian and the salutatorian. Those individuals will be determined finally by the district. And then we will have a public announcement who would actually serve as the valedictorian and the salutatorian for the class of 2022. The star student is based on the highest SAT score, and the student must be in the top 10% as well. So the student with the highest SAT score, they must meet the verbal and the math requirement based on page requirements. Once we identify that individual student, then that individual student will also pick what they call the star teacher. So the star student can be the VAL, could be the SAL, or it could be a student who's in the top 10% that have the actual highest score. So those are the 3 highest ranking honor for the class of 2022. As you look at the picture, that is the class of 2021, the valedictorian, the salutatorian, and the star student. So those students receive a lot of great honors when they actually are recognized by the district. How do you become part of the top 10%? Based on the number of seniors at the end of the first semester that is actually on the roster. based on the final number of students that we have as active students in the class of 2022. Then we take the 10% of that actual number, and based on that actual number, that's how we would know who are the top 10% students. And one of the things that students often ask, am I an honor student? Do I get a cord for graduation? The honor student must have an 83 GPA at the end of the first semester of their senior year. The reason it is at the end of the first semester of the senior year, because that's where the VAL, the SAL, and the STAR student are determined. So at the very end of that senior year, the honor students are determined at that time. If your son or daughter achieve an 83 at the end of the third quarter, they're not really considered an honor student at that time. You have to get the grade at the end of the very end of the first semester. Class rank. Oftentimes students as well as parents want to know what is the child rank. Based on Atlanta Public School policy, students have unofficial ranks. So a student can ask me today what the rank is. I will say to the student as well as to the parent that this is unofficial. It is not etched in stone. The official rank is not declared until the end of the first semester of the senior year. After the end of the first semester of the senior year, that's when official ranks are determined because the VAL and the SAL has been determined at that time. So that's how everyone get their official rank after the end of the first semester. Graduation course, that is a hot commodity. Students are going to ask questions. How do I get a cord? How do I get a cord? As I always tell the students, you have to go to the various departments. They determine who gets the cord. The cords are not determined by the council. It's not determined by me. If a student has completed their pathway, they get a cord. If students have done fine arts, they get a cord. Students who are in early college, they get a cord, but they will have to go to those individuals who can actually assist them to let them know if they actually have received a cord. How do you get in contact with me? Since things have actually slowed down a whole lot, I'm very much available at almost any given time to be able to assist you. You can email me for a very, very quick response, or you can call my phone, which is also on the PowerPoint at this time. So I am here to serve your scholar all the way up to graduation. We are here to make sure that they get what they need. They can do it. I do believe that this class is going to set some standards, and they are going to set some high marks for other classes to follow. Any questions for me? Thank you, Mr. Jackson. I turn it back over to you.
Awesome, and we most definitely appreciate you, Dr. Purdy, and all that you do here at the Booger T. All right, it's time for our awesome graduation coach, Miss KB Floyd. Miss Floyd, are you on the call? Are you ready?
I am. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. And I am here to talk about credit recovery and our RISE program. So we run credit recovery. We use the Georgia Virtual Platform. That's a state-approved site that we use for credit recovery. Students are also, they have the opportunity to make up courses during the day and also after school during our RISE program, which is Monday through Thursday from 4 to 6 p.m. We definitely need our seniors to show up for the RISE program. We have subject-specific instructors that are on hand to assist. If you are making up a math recovery class, we have math teachers on hand. And same thing for English, social studies, and science. All those core areas are covered, but we need you to take advantage of the resources that we're offering. Also, it's very important to make sure that you maximize your time with credit recovery. Students should be moving at an accelerated pace, getting through modules and completing post-tests so they can move on to their next credit recovery course. Next slide, please. So some of the things to make sure that you're successful at credit recovery. It is imperative that students log in daily to complete coursework. It's also imperative to attend the RISE program. If your child is enrolled in credit recovery, it is imperative that they stay for the RISE program so that they can get that additional support so they can get through those courses. Some of our seniors have multiple courses. And it is doable. We can get them to graduation, but it's going to take them taking the initiative, getting through those credit recovery courses so that they can be successful. It's also imperative that you join the Credit Recovery Google Classroom. I have lots of information on there. If you ever forget how to log in, if you need to contact me, you can always just send a message through that Google Classroom, and I will get that message, and I can reset tests, reset passwords, things of that nature. And there are also study guides on there. Some of our students are enrolled in credit recovery courses that require an end of course test. I also have study guides on that for the end of course test, just to make sure that they're successful in that endeavor as well. So again, the Google Classroom code information is there. We have study guides on there and EOCT information as well. So just make sure that you are taking advantage of all the resources offered to you. If you guys need me, I'm located in the second floor computer lab, and you can still find me in the counseling suite. I am a part of the counseling team, and we look forward to serving you. Thank you, Legacy Builders.
I have a question, Mrs. Floyd. Could you share with parents how many students have been coming to credit recovery out of the, so we'll say 70 students that are off track?
Yeah, so credit recovery, the RISE program has been running about between 5 to 12 students. That's unacceptable. We need all the students to come because students aren't finishing at a record pace as they should if they would come to the RISE program. Students that attend RISE can generally get through a credit recovery class within 2 weeks. So those students that come and commit to coming Monday through Thursday can really pick up the pace in terms of those credit recovery courses. Any other questions? Thank you.
And thank you, counseling team. Thank you guys so much. All right, we have one more person from the counseling team. That's a new addition to the BTW family, and that's Miss Joy Foreman. Miss Joy, you want to come forth and speak to our legacy builders and our parents about college access?
There we go. All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Like you said, my name is Miss Joy Foreman. I am the college access coach here at Booker T this year. Just to tell you a little bit about myself, I have worked at University of System Georgia schools, so Clayton State, as well as Augusta University within enrollment services, as well as student affairs. So I'm definitely here to help all of our legacy builders building their blueprint for that post high school life. So I assist with college applications. I assist with scholarships for that ACT and SAT testing, all of the above. I'm here to make sure that our students are successful and prepared once they leave Booker T. All right, so I do have my contact information at the bottom of my About Me. I'm usually available between 8:30 and 4:30. I am located in room 1122 on the first floor. If parents, if you want to reach out to me, if you have questions about FAFSA, which, you know, we do have a couple events that I'm going to get into, please feel free to text me. That number is text available. You can also email me at that email below. I also have a QR code that's also on that screen. Please scan it. I have lists of scholarships. I have access to my Instagram where I post scholarship information, test prep information, as well as our college visits. And that kind of segues me back into our upcoming events. So I try to make sure our students are exposed as possible. So I try to make sure they have at least 1 or 2 college visits per week, just so they have, you know, the visibility and they're able to interact with college reps. So this week, you said what room I'm in? I'm in room 1122. I'm in room 1122. So we have Columbus State that will be doing a virtual visit with our students on the 15th. That's Wednesday. Atlanta Metropolitan is going to be doing it on the 19th. Like Dr. Prater mentioned earlier, we do have North Atlanta who will be doing a college fair. A lot of our seniors will be going to that as well on Friday. Next week, we'll be having Georgia State as well as Georgia Tech, Middle Georgia State College, as well as a pro fair where we have colleges from the 2-year JUCO all the way to top tier 3 4-year collegiate institutions. I also try to offer lunch and learn. So we have match and fit where we try to pair our students with the best institution, or even if they don't want to go to college, just the best life plan so that they can be as successful as possible once they leave. Also, we're going to be kicking off our SAT and ACT prep days, which will be every other Friday. So we're going to have people in from Georgia State. We're going to have people in from Morehouse that will sit down with our students, give them not only test taking tips, but also testing materials so they can practice for those days. Like Dr. Prater said, in terms of SAT and ACT, I am the one that they would have to come to for those waivers. So if your students have any questions, please feel free to send them down to me. I'm very active on the Instagram. Many of them I've already met with, and they do know how I am very hands-on. So please feel free to come down to me. Speaking of FAFSA, we will have our FAFSA week kickoff, which will be the first week of October. So parents, that's when we need you the most. When it comes to filling out that FAFSA form, you do need your 1040 form, tax form. And that is just to make sure that your students can get as much free money as possible. We don't want you guys to pay for school at all out of pocket. We want to make sure you have Pell Grant. We want to make sure you have scholarships. So a pivotal part of this whole process is you guys, parents. So making sure that you have that 1040 tax form so that we can fill out that FAFSA information. Once again, my name is Ms. Foreman. My number is on the screen. Please feel free to call, text, email, as well as message me on Instagram. I am here to assist all of you. Thank you so much for your time. Have a great evening.
Parents, I just want to just share real quickly. All senior must go through Miss Joy which is called a one-on-one conference with her. All seniors are required to go through the one-on-one with Miss Joy in order to graduate. That is part of the clearance at the end of the year. We could do a clearance, and if they go ahead and do it this semester, they don't have to worry about us hunting them down to get it done. So if they go ahead and meet with her this semester, then we're going to be rocking and rolling at the end of the year with no issues.
Thank you, Dr. Prater. Any other questions? All right, thank you.
And thank you, counseling team. Most definitely appreciate you. All right, guys. So this is important information. Ms. Brewer, are you ready to come off mute and greet the legacy builders about senior pictures?
I am. I'm not
Go
sure
forth,
what's
Ms.
up with
Brewer.
that slide. I don't know what's going on with the slide right now. But senior photos will be from September 20th through 23rd for the ladies and September 28th through 29th for the gentlemen. And I have already sent out the dates and times that each senior who is paid for their senior photo need to report to the teaching theater, and I'll also be there to assist as well. So if they forget that they're supposed to be in the teaching theater at a certain time, I'll assist them and let them know you're supposed to be in the teaching theater. The attire for the young ladies is a tube top because you all will have the drape. And then you'll also have your cap and gown on. So you just need a tube top or either a spaghetti strap shirt, which you can slide the spaghetti straps down. But if you do have a spaghetti strap shirt, make sure that it is a neutral color because we don't want it to be shown through the white gown. Also a small strand of white pearls and small pearl stud earrings for the cap and gown and formal photos. And the male's white dress shirt and a black tie. Can you go to the next slide, please? I don't know what's going on with the backdrop of this, but okay. So hairstyles. So please keep in mind the cap when you're getting your hair styled. The cap will not cover high hairstyles, and you will not be able to hold your cap in your hand since you will be holding the diploma cover when you are wearing your cap and gown for your photo. Also for casual photos, for those students who pay the extra $20 for the casual photos, they are still school photos, so no cutoff shorts shorter than mid-thigh, no shredded shorts, crop tops must be worn with high-waisted pants, and no vulgarity on graphic tees. And that is all for me.
Awesome, and thank you, Ms. Brewer. Thank you, Ms. Brewer. You have any questions, Ms. Brewer, would you mind putting your email in the chat for the
Yes.
parents and staff? Awesome, they'll be great. Awesome, thank you, Ms. Brewer. And I want to go ahead and apologize in advance. I was just notified that it might be some issues with the PowerPoint. It's actually looking good on my end. And so what I'll do is I'll also post this into the Google Classroom for our senior legacy builders, so you guys can go back and review it at any time. Awesome. So my portion is next. I come before you to talk about senior fees. All right. So let's talk about senior fees. So mandatory senior fees are the $155. That includes your Kente Stole, along with your senior recognition activities, along with your vision of the future, family and friends reception, your commencement fee, and as well as your cap and gown and your diploma. So diploma cover, and that will run roughly at $155. Now, what is optional is your senior activities fees. So that portion is $105. All right, that includes your senior breakfast, which will take place in the spring, your senior picnic, which will also take place in the spring, 2 senior t-shirts. You will receive one here shortly, and then you will also receive one in the spring before graduation. And then also your senior gift. Your senior gift is an addition, well, it is $25, and you will receive that at the graduation, at the commencement exercises in the spring. And then for any additional senior activities that we have. So that total will equal out to a total of $155. Altogether, the grand total is $260, all right? Let me explain how that $260 can be paid. You can pay the $260 all together, and you can pay that online, or you may bring a money order to the school. However, if you want to do the senior fee payment plan, it will only be accepted by money order. The first payment was due August 31st. That payment was $65. All right, the second payment is due again on October 30th, which is an additional $65. And then you have payment 3 due January 15th. And that is additional $65. And then you have your last payment due February 15th, which is another $65, which altogether will total out $260. Now, if you have any additional questions or concerns, I will put my email in the chat for you. And then also, honestly, guys, I know we're in the midst, we're still going through a pandemic. So if you guys need any sort of assistance with anything concerning senior fees, please shoot me an email with your legacy builder's name, and I will forward that over to the correct representative so we can get that taken care of. All right, so you can pay the fee online. I will post the link in the chat, as well as my information as well. So if you have any additional questions, you can reach out to me, and we'll go from there. For time's sake, I want to move forward to Ms. Wynn so she can talk about the events coming up. Ms. Wynn, are you on the line?
I am. Good evening, everyone. I'm actually driving, so excuse me. We are in the throes of kicking off our commencement exercises, our commencement activities. The first is senior recognition. Our date has been moved back to October 1st to give students the opportunity to get the items that they need. That, of course, will be at 10 a.m. October 1st in the LC Baker's Gymnasium. The second activity is the senior award ceremony, Visions of the Future, which will be held the Sunday prior to commencement. And the third activity is commencement, and we do not have a date for that yet. However, for all 3 of those activities, the attire is, for young ladies, solid white dress. It must be knee-length. No off-shoulder dresses, no tube top dresses, no culottes, no jumpsuits, no pantsuits. Off-white sheer hosiery and solid white flats. We're asking all young ladies to wear flats because we will be doing a lot of walking and a lot of standing for all 3 events. Small pearl stud earrings only. For the gentlemen, solid black suit, solid white dress shirt, solid black classic tie, no bow ties, black dress socks, and black leather bottom shoes. The attire is the same for senior recognition and visions of the future. The difference in the attire for commencement is the young ladies will wear the white cap and gown, kente stole, academic regalia, plus the white dress, the off-white hosiery, and the solid white flat. The gentlemen will wear the royal blue cap and gown with the white dress shirt, solid black tie, black classic trousers, black dress socks, black leather bottom shoes, kente stole, academic regalia. Thank you. Should you have any problems or if you have any questions, please do not hesitate to contact me. My email address, can someone put this in the chat for me, please? I'm driving. My email address is mawynn@atlanta.k12.ga.us, or my direct extension to the school is 404-802-4646. Thank you.
Awesome, and thank you, Miss Wynn. Thank you, Miss Wynn. All right, guys, so I believe that brings our portion. I want to make sure that we have went over everything thoroughly. I do see our principal is on, Dr. Angela Kosum Young as well. Do we have any questions or answers at this moment?
Mr. Jackson, before they do the question and answer, could you distinguish between the roles of the counselor, you and Mrs. Wynn, so they understand where to go to with their questions?
Most definitely. Thank you, Dr. Prater. Great, guys. So I'll distinguish that. So Dr. Prater oversees everything academically when it comes down to scheduling. And when it comes down to credit recovery, when it comes down to transcripts, colleges, and everything within that sector, that you will go see Dr. Prater for that. Now, when it comes down to senior events, anything, any sort of, if you have an issue with absences, if you have an issues with tardies, if you have issues with per se a teacher, then you will come and you will see me in 3038. And then also, if you have anything related to commencement, senior recognition, or any traditional events that we have here at Washington, you will go see Miss Wynn for all of that information. And I will make sure that that is included as well within the PowerPoint that I will post to the Senior Legacy Builders page in Google Classroom. Great question, Dr. Prater. Any additional questions from any parents or students at this time?
There's one in the chat from Mr. Amos. I have a concern about senior night, the football game. It has been moved to a game at Henderson Stadium, the old Grady Stadium. Why was it moved from Lakewood, which is our home stadium, to which is our home stadium and logistically better?
Great. So, Mr. Amos, thank you for your question as well. So what I would do, Mr. Amos, that seems like a question that's suited for our athletic director, our athletic director, Coach Avery. So what I'll do, Mr. Amos, I'll connect you with Coach Avery, and Coach Avery will be able to clarify that question a little more for you. All right. And then our next question, it says, what is the meaning of communication? Okay. So, okay, great. So the seniors, we do have a remind. So it's very important that when you do sign in, that you include your cell phone information. So what I'll do is I'll take that list and I will add the parents to the reminder to ensure that parents are getting the notifications about anything senior here at the Booker T. All right, I have another question. Okay, great. So again, parents, I see it was a duplicate question. So Again, parents, if you did complete the sign-in form, what I'll do is I'll take that list and I will update your contact information in the Remind app to ensure that you are getting the information concerning anything senior or anything here at Washington, period. So I will update that list this evening. And Dr. Prater, I see a request. Does this pertain to students in the ABA program? Dr. Prater, would you like to clarify that a little bit more?
What's the question?
It just says, does this pertain to students? Who is that? Tanaya, could you be more specific in your question?
Is she's asking about, because she's an AVA student, does she participate in everything? So students who attend AVA or Phoenix Academy or any other program that the district sponsors, you are still a Washington high school student and you will be a Washington high school graduate. So you can participate in everything that relates to your senior year at Washington High School.
Awesome. And I see another question from Ms. Smith, and she was asking, will students that are in credit recovery be allowed to participate in senior recognition? The answer is yes. All right. All students who are classified as seniors here at Washington will be able to participate in senior recognition. All right, and Ms. Lumpkin says, I paid for senior pictures, but is it too late for me to pay a casual? Ms. Lumpkins, that's a question that you will have to speak with Ms. Brewer on. My suggestion is that
I'm sorry, I can answer that now. It's
go ahead,
not
Ms.
too
Brewer.
late. Tomorrow is the absolute last day to pay for senior photos. It was actually on Friday, but we've extended it to Wednesday. And Jeriana, I know that you've already paid for your senior photos, so I'm not saying that directly to you, but it's not too late to pay for the casual option. So just let me know what day. I'm sorry, yeah, just let me know how you're going to pay for it, and then I'll schedule you for the day that you're already taking your senior photos.
Awesome. And I see Ms. Amos has a question. What is the Google Classroom information? So I will put the Google Classroom code in the chat. All legacy builders have been added to the Google Classroom manually. If you did appear on the cohort 2022 roster, you were added manually as of this afternoon. Ms. Amos, I will get that information over to you shortly. I see another question. Do parents attend the senior recognition on October 1st? Yes, it is suggested, but let me allow Ms. Nguyen to clarify that a little more for you. Ms. Nguyen.
So yes, parents are invited to senior recognition. However, in the time of COVID, we're just asking everyone to be safe. Please wear a mask. We will try to have seating at socially distance. So please keep that in mind when you come for senior recognition. A mask is definitely required for this event.
Awesome. Thank you, Ms. Nguyen. And I see, can you post the link to pay senior? You won't necessarily pay for senior recognition. You'll pay for the senior fees. And that link is already posted in the Google Classroom as well as on the Washington homepage. Deshaun asks, can you still pay for senior pictures? Yes, the absolute last day to pay for senior pictures is tomorrow. The senior picture information was listed on the Google Classroom page, the Legacy Builders 2022, and as well as the homepage of Washington High School. All right, again, if you only paid $65, you'll still be able to participate. All right. Awesome, guys. Okay, so last question, does it need to? Yes, if you attend the virtual academy at the APS Virtual Academy, Dr. Prater, could you clarify? They'll still be able to participate in any activities that we have here at Washington, correct?
Yes. Any student that attends Atlanta Virtual Academy or Phoenix Academy, you are still a student at Booker T. Washington High School. So everything that is senior related, you can participate in.
Awesome, and I do see where two students did ask about how much are senior pictures. So Ms. Brewer did clarify that at the beginning of the meeting, but let me reiterate for you. So the $45 sitting fee will cover your sitting fee only for your cap and gown and your formal picture. All right. If you want the additional shot with the personality shot, which we call the personality shot, this shot will be $65 altogether. All of that information is on the Legacy Builders page within Google Classroom as well as the Washington homepage. All All right. How do you know if you have access to Google Classroom? Once you enter the Google Classroom platform, if you see the Legacy Builders 2022 page, you have access. All right, Miss Sarah, so you will speak to me about senior dues. I'll put my email back in the chat as well as my desk phone number, and you'll be able to contact me. All right, I think that's all the questions here. All right, so if all hearts and minds are clear, we want to thank you guys for coming out. And we have to excuse our principal. She is on the call, but she's participating in a softball game here at Washington. If you guys have any additional questions, I'll put my email and contact information in the chat. I want everyone to go forth and continue to have a great day and an evening. And good evening. Have a great day.